Alright, we got Phil Birch checking in here again. Going to talk to you about aggro decks. Aggro is one of the huge types of decks in UFS right now currently. One of the main three archetypes of the game. Aggressive decks usually just, they try and beat down your opponent. If you like punch and face, you like aggro. You just keep attacking, attack, till there's dead. We got a lot of different types of aggro decks in the game. Obviously, we've got early game aggro, which usually has to play between 1 and 3 turns. These decks keep attacking every turn. Usually not the most successful decks, but sometimes they can work. They're high risk, high reward decks. Play a lot of bad checks. Decks like this are usually Vanilla Caden, you know the guy, 2 checks, 1 checks all day. Mitsurugi's one of these type of decks. He usually doesn't survive and do really well past turn 3. Um, that's really it for like that kind of deck. They don't really enjoy mid to late game scenarios. I know if I played those decks, I'd probably just scoop after like turn 3 because I know I wouldn't have any chance. Another deck like another aggressive deck type, I guess, would be like combo themed aggressive. And I don't mean combo in the keyword so much as I mean combo, and if they have these cards, they win. Decks like this are usually not super consistent, but I don't know. We have some players in the game that make them look consistent. The Hurricane, AJ, it's my boy. He is like the innovator of this type in the current format. Um, he's got decks like his Mike Lowe deck that just keep attacking, keep clearing the card pool, keep going, until he hits you and until you with sovereigns. Decks run really well off of air. I can't really think of many off of other symbols. I know AJ had a sick water deck, like Playful Slice, Rising Typhoon, kind of craziness with Marathi. Deck was neat. Got him pretty well at Nats, I know. Another deck like that is like Temujin, another one of AJ's decks. Played Dragon Flame. I know he killed Jeremy Ray like turn 1 or something. I hear that story like once a week. Yeah, they can survive early late game or early mid game. They can go probably between 1 and 4 turns. I'd say they're not huge past then. Um, it's just kind of it's kind of aggro's thing. They can't really survive the huge long games that other defensive and control decks can play. Uh, the best probably type of aggro deck that's been around since the beginning of the format is stun aggro. Stun aggro, I'm sure you've all been killed by it before. It runs cards like For the Money, Chasm Buster, Turn Thruster, Lifter, all just to get super damage, super kills, and you can't really stop it once it starts. They'll hit you with probably a wheel kick or something to hit you with the big stun 3, turn half your board sideways on that, pump it a little bit so that you're feeling threatened. Probably use Best Friends, pump the stun rating. You kind of get just overwhelmed by stun, and unless you have a fat ass, you're kind of done. I know that decks like control decks kind of give this deck a problem. Undisputed Ruler is a real big problem for the deck. I know for experience. I'm like 4-0 against this deck in major tournaments because I play Undisputed Ruler and like everything. God Techniques is another big problem card for that. So, but they don't really care so much about like defensive decks. They have the ability to go so fast that they can blow up 7-hand size walls really quickly. They can just power through, and they also have a pretty solid late game. They can go as late as turn 6 without really being affected by the clock, say, of some decks. Vespera could potentially give them a problem. I couldn't see it like as a huge one. Um, they do just have the power and the tools to just get right through there. Unless the Vespera's sitting on 3 Celestial Beings, I don't think she could take up a few wheel kicks and the lifters. It's just, especially early game, it's real tough on everybody. Then we have, as we like to call herp derp decks. These are the Weenie Rush decks usually. With Trong gone and Playful Slice pretty much gone, I think we won't see as many of these. But if somebody's daring enough to go 7-hand size life slice kick or life kicks now, sorry, it's not slice. They could still do some pretty big damage, especially with a character with damage pump like Mike Lowe. They could potentially play like, I don't know, some damage pumps within Regretful Existence and stuff like that. They still have the best draw engine in the game with researching anywhere and searching for family. I think it's researching anywhere. I don't know. These cards research something. But yeah, they also have the only. They're the only, I guess, aggro deck that could go the whole game because they're based off of life. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but life's pretty nuts right now. It has everything, and it keeps getting better. It's strange because I'm pretty sure a few sets ago it had nothing, but hey, that's how the game goes, I guess. We also have some lesser, I guess, known ones. Chaos aggro is kind of a thing. I mean, Jin, Kazuya, Heihachi, Omar, pretty much. It's really about it. They have Spang Demons, Merciless Fighters, uh, Tribulation, Divine Tribulation, that's what it's called. They just run on buddy blocks. You draw cards, hopefully, and you have the best blocks in the game at plus zeros. So you draw cards with your Mishima Family Bloodlines, you run Dual Persona as a pump. Hit him with a Spang Demon, pick up that character, discard from Merciless Fighter at plus 4 damage. Hit him with the next one. Lather, rinse, repeat, I guess. They're pretty inconsistent. They started off pretty good beginning of the format, and have slowly declined. Pretty sure Tim Keefe is really the only one doing this real solid right now. Matt Childress, I believe his name is, from South Carolina, had a good showing with Jin. And that was a surprise for me because I didn't think Jin was going to do anything. So kudos to him. And then last we got like Air Beats, which is just the big attacks. Conch Blast, Kneecapper, Sagaki's, Sovereign's Glory. I mean, you just keep getting hit by them, and you just die. You block, they discard. You block, they discard. And then you have cards in your card pool, and you can't block the rest of them. I know 9 damage Sagaki offerings aren't a joke. And then when they throw that huge Sovereigns at +6/+6, you're like, well, I guess that's the game. Dave Wagner loves this deck type. He plays that amazing tier deck. I finally beat him after he Luxact has beat me last year at Worlds. But, I don't know, it was a really close game, and I was fucking worried because he melted my face turn 2, and I was Vespera. So, it's something. It's something when you can get hit by all those attacks and still live, I guess. Alright, so that's really it for the aggro themes I can think of. Aggro itself, I think, is inconsistent in the current format. I think the format's more of a defensive and control format right now. Nobody is really looking for the aggro deck to win Can-Nats or UK-Nats, I don't think. But, like, I think if you have a good one, one that's good enough to catch everybody off guard, you could probably accomplish this. It's not like the meta's closed. I know a lot of people thought at Worlds the meta was wide open, but in reality it was Angels, Trong. That was the meta. I know I heard a lot of people like, no, anything can compete, and I mean, I guess my point's kind of invalid because people are going to be like, well, Paul Bittner won. Paul Bittner won because Garrett built something to beat the only decks that that were the meta. I tried that with Vespera. I didn't account for the Angels having a super immediately NPE like late game thing they had going on. Once they were dug in, they were dug in. It's kind of life, I guess. But anyways, that's Fire Aggro. I'm gonna have a couple more videos. I'm gonna do one, or not even Fire Aggro, just Aggro. I'm gonna do one on control, one on defensive decks, just to kind of get new people an idea of the archetypes, and maybe some veterans if they didn't know. Some people coming back to the game and stuff like that. Anyways, like I said, hit subscribe. You know how YouTube works. You can catch all of these awesome videos that I will be posting probably every other day, something like that, because I have a lot of stuff to say about the game. Also, send me your questions. Facebook, Jasco site. Hey, post them on YouTube. I'll be doing a Q&A once I get enough questions, and we could, you know, you could have a chance to get your stuff all out there. And that's pretty much it. That's Phil Birch signing out. Hit subscribe. All right, UFS.